Yes.
As I say, I can no longer just dress people on the outside, but it's dressing them on the inside, you know, and it's all well and good, you know, to do all these beautiful clothes that I do, and I love them. But in most hospitals, certainly not this one, you know, you're diseased, but where's the whole person being cared for? I really believe that the nurses and the doctors and the patients and loved ones need to be cared for, not only the disease. The Urban Zen Program basically takes care of pain, anxiety, insomnia, nausea, and constipation. We call it panic. And the modalities that are used are in-bed yoga, Reiki, aromatherapy, nutrition, and palliative care.
You know, that tells me that UCLA is treating the whole patient. And I think that's what I've appreciated. The longer I'm here, the more I appreciate that.
And we felt that this was the missing element. So together, Rodney and Colleen got together and created a program where we train in-bed yoga, Reiki, aromatherapy with Young Living Oils, palliative care with Joan Halifax, and nutritional work. Holistically, we look at the body. So it's not just yoga. If people think yoga is kind of putting your legs around your head, you know, yoga is being present in your mind and body. Through meditation and yoga and all the practices, it really puts the patient, the loved one, the doctor and the nurse at ease.
To make a distinction that this is not just yoga therapy. We found about 3 years ago in implementing yoga therapy with Reiki, with nutrition, with aromatherapy, and with contemplative care, that is a magic combination that exponentially begins to bring us back to balance.
There's no more compelling unit than a hematologic malignancy bone marrow transplant unit, because our patients with cancer of the bone marrow, they spend weeks in the hospital. So they have psychological and physical trauma from being there and from what we put them through. And so they are most amenable, as is the staff, to alternative interventions, non-medical interventions that might heal them emotionally as well as physically.
Yeah, the symptoms we were dealing with upstairs were mainly anxiety and insomnia.
Yes.
So we would use a lavender oil. We would put them in a position that makes you exhale easily, because when you're anxious, you don't really exhale. It's like, right? This is your state of being. So when we put them in a yoga pose, a restorative pose that lets them exhale easily, everybody fell asleep that we were working on. It was so beautiful.
No one person could do that. It's not about me. You know, this is the time for we to get together. And it's a call out to the hospitals, to the doctors, to the nurses, to people at large. You know, it's a collaboration of everybody coming together to create the change that we desperately need. Thank God that this hospital is allowed, you know, will be, when everybody says, oh, you're doing it at UCLA, oh, can I have it now? You know, I hate to say it, it's like, you know, you're wearing something, oh, where'd you get that? I want it. So, we can't thank this man enough to really be in the arc of change, because he really does know what care is all about, you know, and that care is going to start at an educational level, at a patient level, at a loved one level, and it would really change the healthcare system. Most people said that I was nuts doing this, but I am.
Nice.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Miss Iman Ali.
Hello, thank you. Thank you so much, Erica. And thank you and to your mentor for sponsoring and putting this on. I thought when I got the call, I felt very honored to be able to share my experience and what I know about energy and how energy works. And unfortunately, we didn't discover that until a lot later in life, you know, after, you know, a series of traumas myself, finding how my body even worked. You know, I think we kind of missed that in school. Somehow, some way we missed that our mind and our body was connected, and that emotions are magnetic and our thoughts are electric. And so we're sending signals, we're broadcasting constantly, whatever we're thinking and feeling. And sometimes that's at a deep subconscious level. And so we may not know that what's happening or why we're experiencing certain pain and things like that. So what you just witnessed was fashion icon Donna Karan talking about her program that she developed along with yoga expert Rodney Yee, called Urban Zen Integrative Therapy. Urban Zen, after Donna Karan left DKNY, she started Urban Zen. Well, that was just, initially, clothing line and a philanthropic endeavor, giving back to spaces like Haiti and parts of Africa. But many of her family members she had lost to cancer. When her husband went through his ordeal with throat cancer, he was also bringing in, while he was receiving chemotherapy, he was also bringing in his yoga teacher, bringing in his Reiki master, bringing in the essential oils. And he's saying, if I'm having this experience, what's everybody else doing? And so he made Donna promise to start something not only for the patients, but also for their caregivers and also for the doctors and the nurses. When you're in the hospital, not just treating the person as the disease that they're experiencing, but treating the whole person. Who is this person and what are the components of their life that somehow are a part of the whole story of why they're even in the hospital or may have the dis-ease. And we have to remember that the basis of that word disease is dis-ease, if you break that down. And so stress, as we know, is probably 90, I think I said 90% of all physical disease is caused by stress. And so we know we're under so much stress, more than what we probably realize. And so at the root of most disease is the stressful environments and stressful things that have happened to us. So my name again, Iman Ali. I am an Urban Zen integrative therapist and trained under the Donna Karan program to address pain, anxiety, nausea, insomnia, constipation, and exhaustion using Eastern modalities, Reiki, which is an energy-based therapy, mindfulness meditation, body scan awareness, restorative in-bed yoga, and nutrition, and using the essential oils. Okay, so we take all of those, and some of you may have experienced some or one of those at any given time, or you may have heard of some of those, but it's when we layer them on top of each other in a session that we have found significant decrease in pain, recovery from surgeries, pretty quickly. And so it's a beautiful technique that we do in just bringing all of that together. Reiki, and if we talk about, our discussion today, energy medicine, the science of energy medicine and sound, I think most of us have not fully been taught properly that, our bodies are made up of energy, okay? In fact, it's that energy that doctors harness when they do use technologies like EKGs and to help them diagnose, and treat certain illnesses. Well, the body is made up of, I think it's over 50 trillion cells, okay? Each cell acts as a transmitter and a receiver of information, okay? The membrane that surrounds that cell is constantly monitoring the environment and sending this information back to the nucleus of that cell. Okay, that cell nucleus contains our genetic information on 2 DNA strands, right? So each of these strands contracts and expands over 1 billion times a second. That's how much is happening at a cellular level for us when it comes to energy. With each of these contractions and expansion comes the release of photon of light with your genetic information on it. This means that every photon has information about you as a person, physically, and then also possibly emotionally. So these contractions and expansions and photon releases create waves of energy coming from the body. While all of this is going on, the brain and the heart are also transmitting electromagnetic frequency. Okay. Your heart, what you feel is magnetic. Okay. Your thoughts are electric pulses, they can be measured as well. So, whatever you're thinking and feeling, you're sending a signal, what we call an electromagnetic signal, right? Sometimes you might not be aware of what you're feeling. So I like the way you started, Erica, with getting us back into mindfulness. Where am I? Checking in to see where I am and to see how I'm doing and to acknowledge that. Mindfulness is all about being aware in the present moment. And so often we are on automatic go, like robotic. We might drive to the store and we don't remember how we got there because we're so used to that routine, right? So I like that. So while all that's going on, the heart and the brain are transmitting signals. So we're broadcasting constantly, whether we know it or not. So when you remember that our emotions are, a result of chemicals released into the body, it's easier to understand heart waves that are composed of energetic molecules created by these emotions. They're measurable and they're detectable, okay? In fact, it emits that frequency or that field of energy around the body. In new science, they have come up with a term for that. They call it the biofield in medicine, that the heart and mind are generating a field of energy around the body. Well, in ancient techniques and ancient culture, they call that an aura. And some people you might know have talked about, well, what's my aura look like? So we would say aura or by biofield if you're talking to a doctor or in the medical field. But you have a physical body and you have an energetic body. We're more energy than we are physical matter. An atom, at basic building block of all living things, an atom is 99.99999% energy and only 0.000001% of physical matter. So that means we're more energy than we are physical matter. And so everything is vibrating. So when you understand it from a scientific standpoint, from a physiological standpoint, kind of helps you to see things a little bit differently on where dis-ease comes from. There's some type of disharmony in the flow of energy or in the flow of information as it goes through the body. In chiropractic therapy, a chiropractor is looking for what they call sublizations. A sublization, of course, is that break in the flow of alignment of energy and information up and down that spinal cord, which is, of course, your central nervous system and this highway for all the information going into the brain where it gets disseminated. So most people you can get a sublization three ways. From a trauma, which most people go to chiropractors for once they've had a car accident. You can also get a sublization from toxins in your body. Okay. So that goes back to what kind of food am I eating, drinks am I, environment that I'm in can cause a sublization or a disalignment. And the third way, which I thought was incredibly fascinating, is the third way to get a sublization is through thought. So having the wrong thought can disalign you, especially if you're having those thoughts over and over and over and over again, which most of us think the same thoughts we thought yesterday, we think those same thoughts the next day, about 90 something percent of, according to Dr. Joe Dispenza. So we are constantly, creating or being impacted by our environments and also, what we do. So as a Reiki master teacher, trained in the energy-based therapy of Reiki. Reiki is a Japanese form of energy therapy that works with your energy system. You have 7 major centers in the body that go along the spinal cord that correspond to glands. There's a physical gland that is attached to that energy center as well. So from the top of the head to the base of the spine, or from the base of the spine to the top of the head, there's energy centers there, that 7 major ones, and they correspond with your endocrine system. Okay, so if I'm at my top energy center here, which is what they call my crown, which that's the 7th chakra, is the word, which is just an Indian Sanskrit word that means wheel of energy, will. And that is, pituitary gland, pineal gland. My throat is my thyroid gland. Okay, so we know lots of people have the issues with the thyroid. My heart center is my thymus, gland. And that gland, of course, is center of the immune system, helping to produce those important white blood cells that help, of course, to fight off disease. So as a Reiki practitioner, and we work and help to bring the body and the energy centers, mind and body, back to a state of calm, back to a state of equilibrium. Because when the body is at a state of calm, the body can do what it naturally does, which is heal. Okay, and so with that, a Reiki practitioner is not bringing in universal life, what we call universal life force energy, through the crown and then out through the hands. So the palm of the hands have an energy center too, which emits that frequency out. That's about, they've measured it at about 7.8 hertz of frequency, which is similar to the Earth's natural frequency. If everything is vibrating, remember, everything is vibrating, we're vibrating. And so that is going into the body of a client or a patient, stimulating their own body's healing system. If we weren't energy, think about it, when you have somebody's heart stops. What do? They're putting frequency into the body to jumpstart that. It's just like a battery. If your battery goes out in your car, what do? You got to get another battery to be able to jumpstart that. So you're giving that electrical force because there's electricity there. Okay. So we work along the endocrine system, placing the hands either slightly above the body or placing the hands lightly over the body. We're going down those glands and those energy centers of the front of the body, and then a person is turned over onto their stomach to work their back channels as well. Okay. Reiki is the most clinically research-backed energy therapy that's out there. Tons of studies, clinical studies. One of my favorite ones was 10 mice were diagnosed with breast cancer and given 2 weeks to live. They separated those mice, 5 and 5. 5 received Reiki and 5 did not. The 5 that did not receive Reiki died within the 2-week span. The 5 that did lived not only beyond that 2 weeks, but their entire lifespan out. So everything from, diabetes, all of this, it's considered complementary medicine to go alongside like we're doing with Urban Zen, when we go into places like UCLA or the University of Mississippi's Medical Center, we're working alongside the doctors and the nurses to offer Reiki, to offer the essential oils, and the therapy that helps to put that patient back at a state of ease and calm, helping to speed up their recovery. We have seen that through research that those who receive Reiki prior to going into any surgeries, that their recovery time is a lot shorter. And we've also seen that we have so much research that's backing, you know, Reiki being able to heal at a bone level. So, what are the benefits of Reiki on Parkinson's disease? Okay, what we have seen in 2016, and this is according to the Davis Finney Foundation for Parkinson, 2016, Amy Stark developed a study on Parkinson's disease patients. And what she found was staggering. What she did was she designed a study to see how the energy would affect those patients. It was a 9-week long study. She had 7 volunteers who all had Parkinson's. They met weekly. They got 5, 6, 7, even 8 sessions of energy work. Every single one of the 7 benefited from the energy work in some type of way. Every single one of the participants also, their total symptoms score decreased. When they got started, their average score was 47. At the end of the study, the average score was 24.7. Okay. All experienced significant decrease in sleeping problems, all experienced significant decrease in fatigue, all experience a significant improvement in their balance. Okay. And so there were also marked improvements for motor skills, anxiety, and pain from any old or new injuries there. 2 out of the 7 experienced approximately an 80% decrease in their overall symptoms. And so we know that some of the benefits that Reiki can give to you as a Parkinson's, someone who's suffering from Parkinson's disease is it can stop temporarily reduce tremors, alleviate pain, lower the blood pressure, relax tight or tense muscles, also release stress and increase calmness, of course, and an increase in energy. Okay, so those are some of the major results that we've seen in some of the studies that have been done in reference to Reiki and its impact on Parkinson's disease. I have with me, I'm inside of our studio. We're here in the Golden Isle. So if you're in the area in Jacksonville, we're right in Brunswick here at what we call Salt Air Studio. I'm one of the independent therapists here that comes in and works. We're inside of our therapy room here. And I thought that I would bring along with me one of my dear friends, but also one of my clients here. And her name is Joan, and she's a resident here in St. Simon. And she has received both sound therapy and Reiki from me. And Joan typically deals with a lot of inflammation in her body, a lot of pain in the joints, sometimes making it very impossible for her to move around. A lot of fatigue, not a lot of energy that she has throughout the day. She's also had vertigo that we've worked with her on. And so I just want, Joan is actually going to we're going to demonstrate a little bit of how a Reiki session goes and what happens so that you can see that and feel, somewhat comfortable if you want to receive a Reiki session as well. Reiki sessions are also done remotely. We'll talk a little bit about that also afterwards. But meet Miss Joan. And Joan, can you talk about, what, some of the symptoms that you've experienced, and then after you received the Reiki, what were some of the, results that you experienced immediately?
Um, all of my pain, I mean, I went one day from being very functional to the next day being in extreme pain because I moved my skull off of my atlas bone. Started out with extreme shoulder pain and went to extreme carpal tunnel pain and down my body to my knees that started overextending and swelling and down to my ankles. And after Reiki and the crystal bowl sound therapy, I'm so relaxed. I'm so mentally in tune with my body, and the pain away. It just so simply, the pain goes away, and I will take a break from the pain anytime. Very difficult to deal with, and the sound bath relaxes me to the point that I'm a rubber dolly. And then the Reiki just seems to draw everything hurtful out of me.
Wow. How long do you have experienced relief after Reiki?
It started out less, but I'm up to the point that I amazingly don't have pain for 24 to 48 hours. What a break.
That's amazing, Joan. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So certainly, the things that Joan is speaking about is debilitating for her, to move around even in her own home. And I've seen her, just could barely move around in the home because I do work with her in her home. And the next day, she has so much energy and is moving so fast. And it just warms my heart to see her be able to experience that type of relief. Okay, so that's the thing. We're also going to be demonstrating our crystal sound bowls. These are quartz crystal singing bowls, and there are 7 of them that are attached or connected to each of the energy centers. So along with the Reiki, we do also give you that frequency through the sound to help work with that parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, so it's all about finding the calm in the body so that your body can do and realign itself because it naturally heals. Okay, so when you talk about sound, the notes of the crystal singing bowls, they are tuned to the specific vibrational frequencies that are found within our bodies. Okay, so each one has a note on the musical scale as well, but it causes our cells to move in different directions and in different speeds. Okay, so everything in our universe we know is made up of vibrations. It's made in that they resonate. And they have their own signature frequency. Your body does that too. And certain healing has its own frequency. And so we also play those singing bowls for people. We've seen people who've had surgeries and they've had relief from that area that's been, bothering them since their surgery. So we know that studies are out that have shown that sound has a direct impact on our mental process, our muscles, our nervous system. And so we're going to demonstrate a little bit of how Reiki works so that if you are wanting to try Reiki, you can absolutely do that. And if you're right in the Jacksonville area, we're about 45, 50 minutes away. And we can definitely help you out there. So we're going to have Miss Joan take a rest. Miss Joan, if you can swing your legs around. And you're going to lie on your back with your head in that little pillow there. Perfect. So we have a little bolster here for Joan's knees so that we can give her some relief on the lower back here. And she's lying. Are you comfortable like that? Let's get this like that. Is that better?
That's better.
Perfect. Perfect, perfect. So she is lying in, if you do yoga, it's considered maybe savasana, just a supported savasana position. Is your neck okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. And so with Reiki, like I said, we will Reiki is done either slightly above the body or on the body. So we always start with the front channels, okay? So this is considered her crown, and we will start her Reiki sessions normally over the eyes, and then we go into the head. So there's several different positions that are done with you dealing with your skull. And so we're just going to begin this just slightly over. Let's see how much time we have. About 15 minutes here, maybe 5. So I'm just going to demonstrate what a Reiki session feels like. And I'm going to ask Joan to talk about what she senses while having it.
It starts out warm wherever she's working, and it builds up so that by the end, your whole body is warm.
So if you can notice, I'm not actually touching Joan, but what I'm feeling in my hands is a lot of heat here in this area. So this is considered the crown chakra on top. This is her 6th chakra right in between her eyebrows. That's the pineal gland or pineal gland. So here in this area, information is being transmitted. There might be something going on. She may have chronic headaches. And wherever we're feeling the frequency really strong, typically means that she needs some attention there. So right now I am sensing a lot of tingling in the hands. Joan, what are you sensing?
Same thing.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel any warmth there or just tingling in the area?
Just tingling.
Mm-hmm. So for me, it's feeling like there's something being pulled into my hand. Here on Joan. So have you been having any headaches here recently?
No.
Okay. A lot of heat coming in now. So typically, if I feel something like that in that area, I'm not going to move until I feel it cool down, okay? Because it means that she has something going on there that, maybe a little bit of disalignment somewhere, and that she needs some relief there. I'm gonna place my hands onto her head. Joan, do you feel a difference when I place my hands on the skull?
Yes.
What does that feel like for you?
It brings my mind and everything to there.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way I could concentrate on my toes right now.
Great.
Don't even feel my toes.
Nice.
It's comforting.
Okay, so comforting. Very good. So what we would do is we would continue down, okay, onto the other parts of the skull. We do work in the back of the skull as well. So there's about 3 to 4 positions just on the head alone that is done with Reiki. And typically we stay about 5 minutes on each area, okay? If for some reason there is like something really going on here, you know, we would stay there for as long as we need to, okay, until there is relief. We'll know when there's a shift and we can move forward when we, as a practitioner, will feel in our hands, it'll sort of turn off. So it'll be really hot or pulling, and then all of a sudden it'll stop, which means we can move on to another part of the body. And so what we're doing is we're just working now her thyroid. We're working that thyroid gland in there, placing the hands over there, running the Reiki energy into that thyroid gland or that throat chakra. Do you have thyroid issues, Joan?
Yes, I do.
Okay, how is this feeling for you?
Absolutely amazing. I love it.
Can you describe what it feels like?
No.
Is it soothing? Is it like a...
Oh, it is. It's warm and comfortable and just, it's like from the bottom of my neck to the top of my head is, there's no word.
Mm-hmm. We're now on her thymus gland, which is right underneath the collarbone here. And that is a area, of course, that is a part of the Reiki session. And so what we would do is just go down her body onto those different glands, those different chakras, and then onto the legs, her knees. And my favorite is the feet, because it helps to really ground the person, okay? So if you're feeling anxious and any anxiety, the Reiki can help you really, really, especially when you work on the feet, feel very grounded and safe. And so imagine having this for at least an hour. You can go for 90 minutes in a Reiki session, then just depending on what you need. You might or may not get to the whole body if there's something seriously going on that needs attention. So we do customize it according to what the patient needs, or client's needs are. We have our, I'm gonna move our little thing over here so you can see our crystal singing bowls here. And I'm gonna play a little bit of it for you so that you can kind of hear how this goes. So each one of your energy centers also has a color associated with it, because energy at its highest level is always seen as color. So this one, you'll hear deeper tones at the base of the spinal cord, which is where your root chakra is, the first one. It's at the base of the spine, right near the navel. And that's red, that shows up as red in color. And then right at the navel is your sacral chakra. That one deals with, root chakra deals with any issues of safety, survival. Second one deals with any, and of course the gland attached to that. Second one, any emotions, any family issues, we'll find that they're located in that area of the stomach, near the navel. Right above the navel and underneath the rib cage is your solar plexus. This is one that deals with, you know, center of power, personal power, self-esteem issues. We have found that lot of these disharmonies within the body come from deep emotional issues in situations from our past. So I'm going to play this. There's 7 of them, and it goes all the way up to the crown. Okay, so I'm going to play a little bit of this so that you can hear what that sounds like. And if you are participating, you can gently close your eyes if you like, or you can just watch. I want you to pay attention to the tone and how you feel when you hear the tone. Okay, so Miss Joan, you are experiencing the sound frequency while lying down. Can you talk to us about how that is for you?
You can feel the frequencies in your body.
Hmm.
And of course, I've had some experience with them already,
Mm-hmm.
but the deep relaxation, you have to be relaxed, and you feel it like enters your brain and down your body,
Mm-hmm.
and it's awesome. I have no pain right now.
Oh,
I have none, and she hasn't done an hour of either.
nice. Yeah, it's pretty impactful. We are coming close to our time together. I am so grateful to be able to share any information that we can today, and hopefully it has benefited some of you. And if you're interested in having a Reiki session or anything like that, you always can contact us here. I'm here at the Salt Air Studios here in Brunswick, Georgia. Thank you so much, Erica.
Thank you, Iman. Green has 2 questions for you.
Okay.
They would like to know how often are sessions needed to maintain benefit, and also about pricing.
Yeah, so an average Reiki session is normally 1 hour. And like I said, you can do a 90-minute session. They're always done like this, fully clothed, lying on a massage table. They can be done remotely as well. We can talk about how that works, but an average session for you, it just depends on what you are experiencing. So as we saw in the studies that we talked about, those patients over a 7-week period, they might have gotten 3 sessions, in a week. But I would say at least starting out once a week could help tremendously to see an impact over a 3-month period, or once every 2 weeks. So regular sessions is you're going to have more experience and more impact with having the sessions more regularly. You can never have too many, and there is no adverse effects to Reiki that is known. None have ever been reported. It only does good for the body to help to relax it and the mind. And pricing wise, a 1-hour session is 90 minutes. And if you're getting a 90-minute session, it's $150.
Okay. And Green also wanted to know that you mentioned telehealth visits, and is that possible? And also, so when you provide this is just my own question, but
Yeah.
Do you take insurance, or is this just like self-pay?
Yeah, well, insurance, unfortunately, I'm not aware of the insurance that will covers Reiki right now.
Right.
I know that, Blue Cross Blue Shield gives so many wellness visits, and I think, you can choose, what type of wellness visits. There are some programs out like that, but I am not familiar with them at the moment.
Okay.
So most of it's out-of-pocket costs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And well worth it, I want to add.
What did you say?
And well worth it.
And she said it's well worth it.
I'm so glad to hear that. Green said thank you so much and that this was amazing.
Oh, thank you, Green. That's the heart chakra. Thank you. Yeah.
I love it. And I just had one more thing to share while we're on this recording.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's just that our upcoming speaker is Sarah Rapillard, and she is a speech language pathologist coming out of Statesboro, Georgia. And she will be speaking on Parkinson's disease and vocal health. So she as well is certified in LSVT loud, not big. We had a big about, I guess now 2 weeks ago. Time is really flying. I can't believe April is over.
Yes.
Basically. And then we always end with the positive affirmation of the day. And today I just want to say that I'm grateful for each and every one of you that have joined, and to always remember to start each day with a grateful heart. I know lately I've been practicing just to be present in the moment and to always express gratitude in all that I do. So
nice. Thank you.
I thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Jen.
Bye. Thank you, Miss Red.
You are so welcome.